So, Blizzard seems to be in a lot of trouble, which is fine with me. I don't care. I really don't. I have been displeased with Blizzard for years now, but that's just my personal struggle. Watching Overwatch go from a good, competitive first-person shooter into a complete and utter mess of a game with balancing issues and constant virtue signaling, I don't care. Oh, and then when Diablo was going to be a phone game, like what? Really?
In this, is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this just strictly mobile forever?
Are there any? The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
I'm like, okay, new Diablo. I'll check that out. I'll check it out. It's on the phone. I'm like, oh my God, you soulless wretches. Then they hired a company that made the Chinese Diablo clone, right? And then they just basically reskinned it to be Diablo. Remember when that came out too? Let's face it, ever since Blizzard teamed up with Activision, it's been going to the shit. You all remember Blizzard banned Blitzchung for basically coming out in support of the Hong Kong protesters. Good on them. I love Hong Kong. I buy a lot of stuff from Hong Kong. One of my favorite places in New York is Chinatown. I play my Van Halen music. I haven't been there in a while. And I walked around acting like I was like in a movie. You don't need to know about my fucking miserable ass life. Sitting there pretending I'm Kurt Russell in Big Trouble Little China.
It's yours.
We all know he gets banned. Fallout happens, everybody protests, blah, blah, blah. We boycott Blizzard. We're not playing World of Warcraft Classic. I don't know why you want to play that old-ass game. I understood playing it back in the day, but now I took one look at it and said, no, I ain't playing that dated-ass shit. Blizzard caves. They give him back his money. They reduce him to 6 months. Then some people are like, well, how come they banned Blitzchung and not these white kids who also said protest Hong Kong, whatever. So, those white kids get banned. 3 college Hearthstone players were banned for Hong Kong protesting and holding up the sign, yada, yada. So, in a way, it was kind of like people complaining and saying favoritism. Twitter people sitting there going, you didn't ban them because they're white, so they got banned. There you go. Thanks a lot. Good work. Blizzard all of a sudden pulls out of this Nintendo event, right? I didn't even see much about it. It was on Twitter. And I'm like, whatever. It's just Overwatch on Switch. Who cares? Great. Now you can enjoy ranked matches from hell on the Switch. Merry Christmas. Hooray! I can now be disappointed while I'm on the train. So then Nintendo turns around and offers refunds for Overwatch on Switch as Blizzard cancels the promotional event. Nintendo released a tweet. Please be aware that the previously announced Overwatch launch event scheduled on Wednesday, 10/16 in Nintendo NYC has been canceled by Blizzard. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Nintendo, let everyone know this has absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Miyamoto. It's all that fat pile of shit that we know as Bobby Kotick. People are probably like, thank you, Daddy Sakurai. I knew you wouldn't let me down. So basically, the world is burning for Blizzard, right? You're sitting there, it's like, whoa, all this is going on. Okay, I don't really care what happens to Blizzard. They don't make good games anymore. What's there to look forward to from Blizzard? Could somebody tell me? Because I am drawing a complete blank. Oh, I'm sure someone will go, well, there's gonna be Diablo 4. When? I haven't seen any leaks, and really, why should I care? Why should I? It's Activision Blizzard. The only thing they do now is they just pump out intellectual properties that have already proven to make money. There's nothing new coming out of there. It's all just basically cash grab, loot box BS. Blizzard postpones event in Taiwan amid Hong Kong protests. By the way, big ups to Taiwan, Malaysia, and South Africa. I know a lot of you guys watch me. A post to the Taiwanese World of Warcraft Facebook page is flooded with messages of support for Hong Kong. Ooh, boy. Blizzard really screwed the pooch there. Why would they do this? Blitzchung goes, I support the Hong Kong revolution of our time. Let it go. Let him talk. It's an American company. You think they'd be the first one to go, well, he can say anything. But the real thing is, China is big money. China's huge money. Blizzard just showed their true face at the wrong time. Activision Blizzard, I should say. I keep forgetting to say Activision Blizzard because Blizzard wasn't this bad till it joined Activision. In my personal opinion. Call me crazy or conspiracy theorist if you want. But Blizzard was not that bad till it joined Activision. Now it's kind of like, I don't know what, it's the fall of Rome. Everything's the fall of Rome with me these days. Anyway, it was big money. They didn't want to piss off the Chinese government. You think they could have did something sneakier. I mean, Lord knows they do sneaky stuff all the time. Why do you got to come out? And let's face it, the Chinese government is just super communist. I mean, you can't say anything negative. It's weird how I've lost a quote from this journalist, right? And he was sitting there going, these right-wingers are just going to talk about this in freedom of speech to use it to push their agenda. I don't have an agenda. And the funny thing is, it sounded like he was coming out against free speech. I don't know if I'll find this tweet because it's just so stupid. And it's like, no, people can just genuinely say that this was a very bad move and it shows you exactly what they're thinking about money. They don't care about anything but money. They'll pretend to be woke until they realize they could actually lose some serious money. Then that whole woke thing's be yourself, freedom of speech, and so on and so forth just goes right out the window. Blizzard did not give a reason for canceling the event. Since posting, people have flooded Blizzard's Taiwanese World of Warcraft Facebook page with support for pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong, a response that has likely influenced the event's cancellation. A Blizzard spokesman at Polygon doesn't have a statement at this time. Yeah, they're busy talking to their lawyers and stuff. They probably got some psychological analysts there. How can we say something and spin it into a positive? Anybody got any ideas? We could give Blitzchung his money back. So I'm chilling out, and out of nowhere, my phone goes off, and it says lawmakers express deep concern over Blizzard's Hong Kong protest response. It's just, I looked at that for a solid minute and thought, wow, this is a PR nightmare. In one hand, it's great because you're finally seeing a soulless corporation like Activision Blizzard get its shit packed in. But on the other hand, nothing will change. Nothing ever changes. It's all soulless, mind-numbing money chasing. Blind capitalism will always trump freedom. Believe it or not. You don't believe me, you'll live long enough and you'll see I'm right. See, the letter addressed to Activision Blizzard's CEO Bobby Kotick urges Blizzard, and I quote, in the strongest terms, to reconsider your decision with respect to Mr. Chung. You have an opportunity to reverse the course. We urge you to take it. Ooh, Bobby Kotick is in a rock and a hard place. On one hand, if he, blows these politicians off and another bill to regulate microtransactions and loot boxes pop up, they're going to vote that thing in just to screw with these guys. On the other hand, if he does it, it's probably going to piss off the Chinese government. Because didn't they just ban the NBA for one commentator saying something the Chinese government didn't like about the protests? I mean, for God's sakes, they banned Winnie the Pooh. The letter is signed by an unlikely group of legislators who often spar publicly on major legislative issues. Senator Juan Whedon, Senator Marco Rubio, Republican Alexandria, and Tom, whatever, don't matter to me. Politicians are politicians to me, whether they're red or blue. At the end of the day, the rich stay rich, the poor stay poor. That's all you need to focus on. I mean, just remember, everybody's ever gotten in office. How many promises did they ever keep? Elsewhere in the letter, the legislators cite an employee walkout in protest of Blizzard's decision to call for boycotts of the company among gamers around the world as an additional reason for Blizzard to reverse itself. Oh yeah, I forgot about the employee walkout. That's a pretty brave move by the employees considering how quickly Activision Blizzard just canned 800 people after having some of the best earnings of all time for them. We made so much money, we're laying off 800 people. It can't be avoided. Bobby Kotick needs a new gold-plated yacht. The letter makes similar references to Apple and the NBA to shut down apps and public discussion of the Hong Kong protesters under Chinese pressure. Oh yeah, didn't Apple put out some sort of app that would help Chinese protesters avoid like the police or something. It's, dangerous areas where they'd probably be beaten by men in armor. Because your company is such a pillar of the gaming industry, your disappointing decision could have a chilling effect on gamers who seek to use their platform to promote human rights and basic freedoms. Activision Blizzard is not a pillar of the community. That is a weird message there. A pillar of the community. Pillar of the community. Bobby fucking Kotick. Yeah, you live long enough, you'll see weird things. As China amplifies its campaign of intimidation, you and your company must decide whether to look beyond the bottom line and promote American values like freedom of speech and thought, or to give into Beijing's demands in order to preserve market access. It's weird to have politicians say that. American values and freedom, dude, come on. Rich people do not live by the same laws as us broke mofos do. That is for sure. Freedoms, my God. Amazon workers are just akin to slaves, except they make $15 an hour. But if you drop below your pick rate, you're out and someone else is in. You better learn how to piss in a bag. Jeff Bezos don't care. Activision Blizzard is so fucked right now. That's all there is to it. All there is to it. Honestly, I think it would have been much smarter to just leave Blitzchung alone and not say anything. When he said that, they should have turned a blind eye. And if China said, "Did you see this, Blitzchung?" I'd have been like, "I'm sorry, so many things come across my desk, I must have missed it. We'll look into it, Beijing. We'll look into it. I will personally beat Blitzchung with a phone book. Don't worry, it'll happen." Then, if I was Bobby Kotick, this is probably bad. Then I'd do a video where it looked like I was beating an Asian man that looked like Blitzchung with a phone book. Don't you ever piss off Beijing. And then give the camera a thumbs up and a wink. And then I'd rip up a picture of Winnie the Pooh, dude. The guy could be a paid actor, but then it would have leaked and people would have exposed it. Yeah, there's no way out for this. Blizzard is really going to lose some money this time. If they actually do something to listen to the American legislators, which they probably won't. I mean, big business does not listen to the government. Usually. It's like the government takes orders from them. Bobby Kotick will probably send them all messages like, "If you give me one more stupid letter, you won't be getting any lobbyist money this year, mister." And then hang up. And then they'll send personal letters that we won't see. "We're sorry, Bobby Kotick. We just had to do a public announcement to make it seem like we're doing something. We look forward to your campaign contributions for 2020. That's what I thought, little bitch." That's not what Bobby Kotick sounds like, but that's what I imagine.